My name is Jeff Martin, and I'm a South Carolina workers' compensation lawyer with Grimes, Teiche Anderson. I often get questions from injured individuals regarding their employment status and how that status affects their rights under South Carolina workers' compensation laws. Increasingly and perhaps disturbingly, employers are attempting to claim an employee is an independent contractor. Many times an employer is attempting to improperly categorize an injured worker as an independent contractor in order to avoid liability for work-related accidents. Under South Carolina workers' compensation law, only employees are entitled to benefits under the laws. This term is broad, but essentially if your employer proves that you were in fact an independent contractor rather than an employee, you could be denied the benefits that you deserve if you're injured on the job. Fortunately, just because your employer says that you are an independent contractor doesn't necessarily mean you actually are an independent contractor. It's much more complicated than a simple label. I have successfully argued that injured workers are not independent contractors and are entitled to benefits under the Workers' Compensation Act in court. These cases are complicated and they require a deep analysis of the work relationship that an employer and an employee had at the time the worker was injured. South Carolina courts look to 4 different factors in determining whether a worker is an independent contractor or an employee. These 4 factors are the employer's right to control over the details of the work and how it's performed, the method of payment, who furnished the equipment for the job, and the employer's right to terminate the employment. If a court determines that an employer had the ability to tell you how to do your job, where to do your job, or when to do your job, this weighs in favor of you being considered an employee. Remember, employees can be entitled to benefits under the Act, while independent contractors may not be. Many times an employee is being paid an hourly wage or a daily wage or salary. This weighs in favor of being considered an employee. If an employer provides substantial amount of tools or equipment or materials needed to complete the task, this strongly points to an employer-employee relationship rather than an independent contractor status. Finally, if an employer can terminate you or terminate the employment relationship, it's likely that the worker was an employee and not an independent contractor. If you've been injured on the job and you're concerned about whether you can pursue benefits under the South Carolina Workers' Compensation Act, if you have questions about workers' compensation and the process in South Carolina, or if you need to simply find out if you have a case, call me today. Initial workers' compensation consultations are free, and we have convenient offices located in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Gaffney. At Grimes, Teiche Anderson, we are committed to protecting the rights of hardworking South Carolinians.